Scottish Labour has descended into a furious internal row after Anas Sarwar's decision to quit as leader and join the House of Lords. Angry members blasted the departing party chief's self-interest. Ahead of expecting confirmation, he will be parachuted into Andy Burnham's government as a trade minister. The move comes just 4 years after he called for the abolition of the House of Lords, saying it has no place in 21st century politics and labelling it unacceptable in 2022. Battle lines had also been drawn in the race to succeed amid fears from left-wingers that Mr Sarwar could block his former leadership rival Monica Lennon from standing to replace him. The Scottish Labour leader yesterday also faced questions from rivals about the timeline of his decision after he repeatedly ruled out taking a seat in the Lords during the Holyrood election campaign. It came after a string of ministerial appointments were made in the first week of Mr Burnham's tenure. Reform UK Scotland Deputy Leader and Glasgow MSP Thomas Kerr said Anas Sarwar has serious questions to answer about his judgment, his ethics and whether voters can trust him. Just 76 days ago, he asked the people of Glasgow to elect him as their MSP. Now he is walking away from Holyrood and from the responsibility they gave him. The timeline, the circumstances and the decisions behind his departure must be made public. This is not simply about Labour's upcoming civil war. It raises serious questions about Sarwar's credibility, integrity and judgment. While Scottish Green co-leader Gillian Mackay added, Anas Sarwar is a chancer. He's gone from promising to scrap the House of Lords to taking a seat in it. He spent years attacking the very institution he is now preparing to join. The hypocrisy is breathtaking. First Minister and SNP leader John Swinney said he wished Mr Sarwar well in his new role, but said the appointment was a terrible look for the Prime Minister. He said to make one of his first decisions a decision to take the Labour leader in Scotland, who's just led the Labour Party to the worst result in the Scottish Parliament elections in the history of the Scottish Parliament, and give him a job for life in the House of Lords and a job in the UK government is, in my view, a very, very strange way in trying to rebuild confidence of the public in politics. Scottish Labour MP for Alloa and Grangemouth, Brian Leishman, welcomed Mr Sarwar's decision to step down and called on the party to rediscover a radicalism. He said our party has an identity crisis. Scots do not know what we stand for and, crucially, who we stand for anymore. Insiders had widely predicted Mr Sarwar would stay on as leader until the council elections next year. However, we revealed he could quit as soon as autumn in an exclusive in May. It's understood Mr Burnham's quicker than expected coronation as Labour leader has accelerated the timeline for his departure. It has also left a string of officials in limbo about their jobs, provoking further upset among Labour figures. Mr Sarwar was left bruised after Labour's historic defeat to the SNP in the Holyrood election, which was blamed on the slump in the UK government's popularity under Sir Keir. However, he rejected suggestions during the campaign that he would accept the seats in the Lords, and shortly after the loss he said he would serve a full 5-year Holyrood term as leader. Insiders yesterday said Mr Sarwar had been given an offer he couldn't refuse by Mr Burnham, with the final decision being made in the last few days. A source said he wasn't going to go back and be a dentist, and he's not going to stay around the back benches. They said they believed Andy Burnham's choice of Scotland Secretary reappointing Douglas Alexander may have also led to Mr Sarwar's elevation to the Lords. The source said, one reading of Douglas's appointment is that Andy Burnham does not know anyone up there, and he does know Anas. It's a I'm a celebrity, get me in there type of thing. He can lead the House of Lords into non-existence. He deserves it. You can read into that what you want. But another insider said the decision had angered members who are now left with the job of rebuilding the party after another stinging election defeat. They said members are somewhere between furious and mutinous. You either backed him before and have been let down, or you didn't back him and you're furious he's failed upwards. It feels like self-interest above everything else now leaves the party scrambling to do a review to rebuild, and the person who was steering the ship is no longer there to be held accountable for the outcomes and recommendations. Nobody there really to guide the party into next year, which I'm sure will be a car crash, as now we'll need to introduce another new leader to the country. But one MSP told the Scottish Sun Mr Sarwar deserved credit for his time in charge and had been hit hard personally by May's election defeat. They said Anas pulled up the party by the bootstraps on the basis of his personality and personal will. This was the way we ran the campaign, and that was probably right. You then get a drubbing, and it's hard not to take that personally. It's hard to pick yourself up and keep that facade. Insider said it's up to Anas Sarwar as to whether he resigns as an MSP and leader at the same time to take up his new role. They said this would decide whether leadership contender Monica Lennon would be eligible to run in any contest. Scottish Labour's last leadership election in 2021 lasted just over a month and began just 4 days after Richard Leonard resigned, running from January 18th to February the 27th. A similar timeline would see Miss Ledden miss out and tip the scales in favour of finance spokesman Michael Mara, as she would not be an MSP in time for the contest. A party source said it could only be done by the time of the UK conference if the SEC meets in the next week or so. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes ahead without her, but only because they want it done and out the way. UK Labour Conference will be in Liverpool from September the 27th to the 30th. Another source added Scottish Labour's 38-strong Westminster group could swing any leadership fight. They said the MPs are also a key dynamic. They are very nervous. This may come down to who the MPs thinks gives them the best shot at maximising their numbers after the next general election.